couldn't win here in Georgia. They told us that a Democrat hadn't won in nearly 30 years. But guess what? You proved them wrong. You talked to your friends and your neighbors. You called strangers and reminded them to vote. You put on those pandemic masks and hopped on Zooms. You raised money and you changed minds. You gave everything you had to make Joe Biden and Kamala Harris president and vice president. And just by 12,000 votes, you won. And we're going to win again. So, did y'all see Joe the other night? Well, he was on fire, wasn't he? I was so proud of him. You know, Thursday night at the State of the Union, Joe gave a strong speech with a clear vision. And he showed the world what I see every day. It's what drew me to him when we first met, I swear, almost 50 years ago. Yeah, who's counting? Exactly. But I have to say, on a serious note, you know, after unspeakable tragedy, Joe rebuilt our family with compassion and love and strength. And as your president, he's rebuilt our nation with that same character, because he knows there's no choice but to recognize powerlessness in the face of God's providence. And he lives by that deep faith. We are the first generation in half a century to give our daughters a country with fewer rights than we had. But President Biden is working tirelessly to defend our freedoms and our future and our democracy. So I wouldn't wish the tragic world events of the last several months on any American president. But I'm so grateful that Joe is our president during these uncertain, tumultuous times. With his wisdom and his experience and his relationships with leaders across the globe, he isn't just the right person for the job, he's the only person for this job. Joe wakes up every morning thinking about how he can make the lives of Americans better. But Donald Trump wakes up every morning caring about one person and one person only, himself. He tears people down and pits us against one another. He mocks women's bodies and devalues our existence. Donald Trump is dangerous to women and to our families, and we won't let him win. So even though it's many months away, I want you to start now. I want you to go out and tell your friends about the enormous stakes of this election and how close the election will be here. And then I want you to remember. I want you to remember what it felt like on that morning after the 2016 election when we fell short. Remember that feeling? Remember how you woke up and you said to yourself, "Oh my God, what just happened?" Yes. We cannot let that happen again. Because I don't want to wake up with that feeling like, oh, we should have started earlier, or oh, we should have done more. No, we have to begin now. We have to meet this moment as if our rights are at stake, because they are. As if our democracy is on the line, because it is. With that determination, we will win this election. Because we all share a faith in an idea that is bigger than any of us. That we are going to build a better democracy together. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce a Clayton State student who will be voting in her very first presidential election. Desiree Lennon.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Dr. Jill Biden. Whew, for that amazing speech. She got all of us riled up, didn't she? Whew. Greetings, everyone. I am Desiree Lennon. As a second-year accredited junior at Clayton State University, I am thrilled to be casting my vote for the first time in the upcoming election. I'm excited to support President Biden and Vice President Harris in this election. As a college student currently benefiting from the military as a dependent, I have strong familial connections to individuals who are either actively serving or retired from the U.S. military. The Biden-Harris administration has made significant strides in prioritizing the health care of our veterans, addressing the issues of suicide and homelessness among them, and implementing various other measures. All of these endeavors greatly benefit my loved ones, including my grandfather, Herman Lennon, who is a retired veteran from the U.S. Army. They ensure their safety, physical and mental well-being, and overall quality of life. I am immensely grateful for the Biden-Harris administration for not only their efforts in supporting our veterans, but also their commitment to uplifting Black communities. Under this administration, I have witnessed historic milestones, such as the selection of Vice President Harris as the first Black woman in her position. And also the appointment of Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is also the first Black woman in her role. Seeing women who resemble me achieve such significant positions fills me with so much hope for my own future and the generations to come. The Biden-Harris administration fosters an environment where people's aspirations can thrive, and that's why I will be supporting them in the upcoming 2024 election. Please join me in welcoming back to this great state of Georgia, President Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband. Desiree, thank you for your introduction. And when you're president and they say Joe Biden's out in the waiting room, don't say Joe who, okay? Mayor Andrew Dickinson, Dickens, I just added another syllable to your name. Thank you for the passport into the city, Mr. Mayor. And Reverend Senator Warnock, thank you for your leadership. And thank you for the honor, giving me the honor to speak at your congregation at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Look, Senator Ossoff, you're the best, John. You're doing a hell of a job. And he's always, always there, and he votes his conscience, and he's not afraid to stand up for what he believes. To the many members of the House of Representatives here and all other elected officials, thank you for your service. And the former Atlanta mayor and former member of my team in the White House, Keisha Lance Bottoms, thank you. Keisha, I said to her a moment ago, I said, we miss you. And her husband said, so did I. I got it. And Governor Wes Moore, thank you for coming down from Maryland, man. He's the best, man. He can play. And all of you here today, you know, you're the reason why we're going to win. By the way, that's not hyperbole. You're the reason we're going to win. Donald Trump has a different constituency. Here's a guy who's kicking off his general election campaign on the road up with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He can tell you a lot about a person who he keeps company with. And yesterday he was hosting at his club Viktor Orban, who says he doesn't think democracy works. Call him a fantastic leader. Seriously. He's been sucking up to win anyway. To want to build dictators and authoritarian thugs all around the world. He said the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un wrote him a beautiful letter. He bragged about calling Xi Jinping a king. He called Putin, and he said, do whatever the hell you want to our allies. I'm not making these quotes up. When he says he wants to be a dictator, I believe him. But I don't want to get carried away here. Before I begin, I want to say thank you. Wait. Thank you. Look, I don't resent his passion. There's a lot of Palestinians who are being unfairly victimized. But folks, look. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to all those outstanding Black, Latinos, AAPI organizations supporting Kamala and me. In 2020 and 2022, especially here in Georgia, but all across the country, you called your neighbors, you texted your friends, you knocked on doors, and you never stopped. And you're with us all the way. And we're here to say simple, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you're here tonight because you really want to do it again, because you are going to win this primary for us on Tuesday, and because we're going to win in November. So I mean this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really mean it. 3 years ago, you helped the Democratic ticket and won Georgia presidential election for the first time in 30 years. On Thursday, when I gave my State of the Union address, I talked about how far we've come since the 2020 election. I also talked about how much is at stake. Folks, it's not hyperbole to suggest our freedoms are literally on the ballot this November. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are trying to take our freedoms away. And by the way, not all Republicans. This ain't your father's Republican Party. These guys are different. But guess what? We're not going to let them take them away. Thursday night marked 59 years since hundreds of foot soldiers for justice in Selma, Alabama, marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon, the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, they were left for dead, but they were unbowed. Our late friend, son of Georgia, John Lewis, was there. But what happened? 5 months later, we passed the Voting Rights Act, was signed into law. But nearly 6 decades after that, the same forces are back, led by Donald Trump, taking us back in time, suppressing the vote, subverting elections. That's why we have to stand up again. We know what to do. And my message to Georgia voters and to voters all across this country is send me a Congress that will pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. The same forces that want to deny the right to vote try to deny other core values of American diversity as well, banning books, erasing history, instead of celebrating the contributions of immigrants to our country, to our economy and our communities. Donald Trump calls them vermin, poisoning the blood of America. No one should ever doubt where my heart is. Unlike Donald Trump, on my first day in office as president, I introduced a comprehensive plan to fix our immigration system, secure our border, provide a pathway for citizens, for dreamers and their families, farm workers, essential workers who helped us through the pandemic and are part of the fabric of our community. Because unlike Donald Trump, I know who we are as Americans. It's why I promised to have an administration that looks like America. The most diverse cabinet administration in American history, led by a vice president. The court represents all the people. 65% of the judges I've appointed are women. 65% are people of color. I've appointed more black women to the circuit courts than every other president in American history combined. And the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court. Look, in my State of the Union address, I talked about the social worker in Alabama. She scheduled an IVF treatment for her second child. But the Supreme Court of Alabama shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by the U.S. Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. What her family has gone through should never have happened. And folks, you know why this happened. Well, I'll tell you why. Donald Trump. He came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. In fact, he brags about it. Well, he got his wish, and states are passing bans that criminalize doctors, forcing rape and incest victims to leave their states to get help. And now, MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump want to pass a national ban on the right to choose. Well, hear me loud and clear. Not on my watch. In its decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority wrote, and I quote, "Women are not without electoral or political power." As I said in the State of the Union, they ain't seen nothing yet. But they're about to see. They're about to see it. Just like we saw it on the ballot in 2022 and 2023. And they'll find out again in 2024. I'm deadly earnest about this. Look, I want to thank Vice President Harris for leading the way in this issue and so many others. In Georgia, I have a message for you. Send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, and I promise you, I will restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again. Folks, I inherited an economy that's on the brink. But since I took office, we've created 15 million new jobs in just 3 years. That's a record in American history. 800 new manufacturing jobs. They said, where's it written that we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? Unemployment at a 50-year low. So far, and under Donald Trump, Black and Latino unemployment skyrocketed. Under my administration, we have record low Black and Latino unemployment. Donald Trump Asian American unemployment nearly doubled. Now the employment rate of Asian Americans is the highest it's been since 2008. Look, we cut black child poverty in half, cut Latino poverty by records as well. We're seeing the fastest rate of new Latino businesses all over this decade. And the next 30 years, it's going to even be bigger. Look, folks, more people have health insurance than ever before. The racial wealth gap is the smallest it's been in 20 years. Wages are back up. Inflation is coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9 to 3%. We've already accomplished a lot, so now let's talk about the future we can build together. It's about the future. For example, Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere else in the world. It's wrong, but I'm ending it. With the law I propose that we sign, no, not one Republican voted for it, I might add. We finally beat Big Pharma. For example, instead of paying $400 a month for insulin to save seniors' lives, they now only pay $35. You know how much it costs to make it? It costs $10. It costs $10 to make it. But I didn't stop there. We capped insulin at $35 a month. I want to do it for every single American. I finally beat Big Pharma. Gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for all prescription drugs, like the VA does. But guess what? It just doesn't save seniors money. It's saving the taxpayers $160 billion. Seriously. Cutting the federal deficit. These guys talk about the debt. I don't want to get into that. I'll get tired. Now it's time to go further and negotiate lower drug prices for every drug. Look, we'll save taxpayers if we do that another $200 billion because Medicare doesn't have to pay the bill. Beginning in January next year, it's already the law we passed. We cap prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at total $2,000 a year, no matter how much they cost. Because some of you know, unfortunately, you've experienced it. These cancer drugs can cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a year. Now let's cap prescription drug costs to $2,000 a year for every American, for all Americans. And folks, the Affordable Care Act is still a very big deal. It used to be called Obamacare. Over 100 Americans, 100 million Americans, can no longer be denied health insurance because of a pre-existing condition, because of that law. And not only that, we've lowered the cost of insurance by $800 a year for so many families. And on top of it, Donald Trump wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That would mean ripping health insurance away from 3 million black Americans, 4 million Latinos, and 1 million Asian Americans. I've got news for Donald Trump. Not on my watch. And if Trump and the Republicans try to cut Social Security again, I will stop them. Look, I'm also working to bring down the cost of housing. That's why I want to provide an annual tax credit for the next 2 years of $400 a month over the next 2 years as rates come down to put toward mortgages. If they're buying your first home or you need to trade up a little for more space. That's what's going to happen. And the interest rates will be down. We're cracking down on big landlords who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. Now Congress needs to pass my plan to build and renovate 2 million affordable houses and apartments and bring those rents down. Look, we're also removing all poisonous lead pipes, and there's millions of them in America, so every child can turn on a water fountain at school or at home without risking getting brain damage, because that's what's happening. Look, and I'm making college more affordable. It was hard for me and my brothers and sisters to get through college because it was tough, and the tuitions weren't even anywhere near what they are today. By fixing the student loan program, like the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, I've reduced the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including teachers, nurses, firefighters, and other public servants. Donald Trump swears as if he gets elected to stop it. But let me tell you something. He won't stop me. Let's continue to increase Pell Grants for working class and middle class families. Increase our record investment in HBCUs and other minority-serving institutions. We already contributed over $7 billion to HBCUs. And you know why? Because they're just as bright, just as capable, though they don't have the endowments. And so they don't have the laboratories to train for the new high-tech jobs. But now they will, and now they do. Look, we're building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Donald Trump did just the opposite. He enacted a $2 trillion tax cut that overwhelmingly benefited the top 0.5% and the biggest corporations and exploded the federal deficit. He added more to the national debt in the 4 years he was there than any presidential term in history. So, by the way, give me a break about reducing the debt. Come on. Folks, how many of you think the tax code is fair? Raise your hand. Well, I sure don't. And I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in federal tax. Nobody, not one penny. But big corporations, the very wealthy, will finally begin to pay their fair share. In 2020, the 55 largest corporate of the Fortune 500, 55 of those companies made $40 billion in profits, and they didn't pay a single penny in tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But 15% is still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise the corporate minimum tax at least 21%. So every billion-dollar corporation begins to finally begin to pay their fair share. Look, folks, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. 1,000. Look, I'm a capitalist. If you make $1 billion, fine. You do it fairly. But guess what? Pay your fair share of federal taxes. You know how much they pay? You know what the rate is they pay in federal taxes? 8.2%. Raise your hand if you trade for that. You'd all take 8.2%, wouldn't you? It's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, a nurse. That's why I proposed a minimum tax of 25% for billionaires. 25, just 25%. You know how much money that would raise? $500 billion in the next 10 years. Imagine what that could do for America and for our future. From lowering the deficit to child care, home care, paid leave, so many other countries have, and still lower the deficit. Look, folks, let me close with this. You're all standing. I'm keeping you too long. I know the American story. It's a Thank you. Thank you. Folks, look, I know the American story. It's a contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of this nation. Between those who want to pull America backwards and those who want to move America to the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace the future of freedom and democracy. And Trump and I have a very different value set, if it isn't obvious already. Mine is based on core values that have defined America. And the rest of the world looks at us that way. Decency, honesty, fairness, equality. But we all know Donald Trump sees a different America. An American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me, that's not you. We see a future where we define democracy and defend it, not diminish it. We see a future where we defend the basic freedoms, not take them away. We see a future where we reward work, not just wealth, where the wealthy pay their fair share. And we see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. And folks, I mean this as I travel the world. I've been in most countries around the world. I know the vast majority of the world leaders because I've been around a day or two. I know I don't look it. But we see a future. I see a future that must remain the beacon of the world. Above all, we see a country for all Americans, a future for all Americans, a presidency for all Americans. So join me. Get out the vote. Vote, vote, vote. Folks, from the bottom of my heart, I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. We just have to remember who we are, for God's sake. We are the United States of America. There is simply nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. So let's do that. Get out the vote. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.